Welcome to Practical Tactical, and today we're going to talk about the best place I know of to put your red dot to help you find a target as quickly as possible at high magnification with your rifle scope. Now I like to put it right here, right to the left of my rifle scope. It's mounted on a Picatinny rail adapter that mounts to the tube of the scope. I have a 1/2-inch riser plate. It's a short Picatinny riser plate that goes in there, and then I have a Vortex red dot here. This is a Vortex Venom, but you could use whatever red dot you like. And the idea here is that the combination of the pick mount on the scope creates a certain amount of offset for the Picatinny rail. Then the 1/2-inch riser block helped me get the correct spacing for the red dot so that the red dot aligns perfectly with my left eye while I'm looking through the rifle scope with my right. So that's the advantage of this system. So as soon as I put the gun on a barricade, I'm finding the target with my left eye and immediately simply concentrating with my right eye through the rifle scope, and that's the fastest way you can find the target. So a lot of people will mount the red dot up on top at a 12 o'clock position, and then you have to turkey neck your head up and down to go between the red dot and the rifle scope. That's not bad. At least you don't have to reposition the rifle. Then other people will put the red dot over at more of a 130 position on the right side of the rifle, in which case you have to roll the rifle over and then reposition the rifle entirely to go find the target again. That's the worst case. It's really not efficient at all for a long-range precision setup like this. That might be fine for CQB or something like that. The guys with AR-15s and a red dot, they put it over there. That works good for them, but it's not at all ideal for trying to find your target at high magnification at long range. Now, one of the advantages of doing it like this is that because target acquisition is so fast by using the red dot, you can run the scope at a higher magnification than you would if you're trying to simply find a target by reducing the magnification in the first place. So now, by reducing the magnification, you can't see as much detail through the scope. So you really kind of cheat yourself. So while you can find a target quickly, you either have to find a target and then zoom in, or you have to just shoot the whole stage at a lower magnification than you might find ideal, just for the benefit of finding the targets quickly. So with placing the red dot at this, I'm going to call it a 930 position, you can run it at whatever magnification you want. The magnification is not the limiting factor at all. It isn't going to change anything. I can shoot a whole match at 20 power, never even think about reducing it, simply because I can find it so quickly with the red dot. So I run this exact same setup on my 22. I have a 22 for the CRPS matches. It's like PRS matches with a 22 rimfire. I do the same thing on that rifle, and I do the same thing on my air gun. I have an air gun set up the same way. It's got, I run it at the same 20 power magnification. I use that for positional practice at close range when I can't make it out to the range. And that works really, really well as well. It's the same thing. So I find a target. I can use this exact same. I call it a practice cactus. It's essentially a cactus made out of 4x4 that I practice from, and I can put any of these rifles on that and use that for practice. So I do the exact same thing. So it's a repeatable result between all those three rifles, and it just works really, really well. I also have a CADX in 308, and I have the same setup on that. So it works well, and I really hope you like the idea, and I hope you give it a try. I don't think there's anything faster for PRS, and it would even be valuable for hunting. If you're a varmint shooter and you're trying to find groundhogs or prairie dogs or whatever it is you shoot, and you like to run a high magnification, I used to run a 24 power fixed 24 power Leopold scope on my varmint rifle back in the 80s. And I had a lot of trouble finding close range groundhogs with it. When they're far away, you could find them easy because the field of view was wider, but at closer range, that was difficult. So the same thing could be done on a hunting gun. The only downside really that you're going to find is it makes the gun wider, right? So when you put it in a gun case, it has to be a gun case that's capable of storing the wider footprint. Now you can use a quick detachable mount. And keep in mind, you don't have to reposition 100% perfectly if you did take it off. So if you had a quick detachable mount, you could take the whole red dot off, and put it in your kit, and put it on whenever you want it, so at least you don't have to transport it with it on. I leave it on all the time. I never take it off. But there are quick detachable riser blocks for the Picatinny rail that you could use. Now, what I'd really like to see is somebody in the industry producing a product that would allow us to do this really, really well. And what that would consist of, in my mind, is some kind of a similar setup where you have rings that are going to mount to your scope, or possibly right on the scope rings themselves. But if you know, without drifting too far, a ring that goes on the scope with some kind of adjustable riser block, so you could position the scope exactly how far you want it, because everybody's eyes have a different space between them, right? So if a person with eyes that are wider apart tries to use it, and I've set it where I like it, it may not be ideal for them. So depending on how far apart your eyes are, you would want to shim that for yourself. So it's ideal for you, and it's your rifle, so you're not really trying to make it perfect for everybody. You want to make it perfect for you. So it'd be nice if somebody just made something with a really nice set of shim plates that you could create the offset that you want for the red dot to get it exactly perfect for you, so that the red dot is well centered in the optic, while your eye is looking through the scope. So that would be the ideal condition. So anyways, I hope you give it a try. It's really not expensive. None of these components that I'm using, the riser block might have cost me, I don't know, $8 or $10, and same with the Picatinny mount for the scope, and that maybe $8 or $10. So they really weren't expensive when I found them on eBay or Amazon. So you know, I hope you give it a try. You know, it really was, to me, it made a big difference on reducing my target acquisition time, and it really increased my confidence with how fast I could find a target at high magnification. And it allows me, again, I can run it at as high a magnification as I want for that particular stage. So if they got small targets and you're having a hard time finding them, this is the best way to get around that. So this is Practical Tactical. I want to thank you very much for watching, and I hope this helps.